Hey everybody! Today, Rahdo runs down a prototype of Space Race, which is a card drafting game where each player controls their own space agency, trying to earn the most glory from 1950 all the way to the year 2020. And the way it works is there are going to be 7 total rounds. And the first thing that happens every round is we have to adjust player order. So right now, I am going back into being first player. Then everybody gets funding, which means we draw a card from the deck and add to our existing hand. So each of us gets a little bit more funding for our agencies. Hooray! Then we can do some research, which means we take our hand of cards and we can put any number of these ideas, these potential breakthroughs, into the unexplored universe down here. And the reason we'll do that is because cards will move from the unexplored universe to the available universe, and that's where we draft them. It's like we throw these ideas we have in our own agency out into the universe so we can make sure that they come to fruition. And so I don't have to throw any of them in, but if there's any of these particular cards that I want to get into my agency, I've got to throw them out there into the universe. So, and looking at these, I've got low Earth orbital spacecraft, space rocket development, search for extraterrestrials, and a small step for man, a breakthrough. I think based on my current circumstance here in the third round, this is the one I'm going to throw out there into the unexplored universe. And I'll hold on to these for later. I could throw more of them in, but I'm happy with that. And while I'm thinking about that, Jen, my opponent over here, she's thinking about which of these cards she might want to throw in because she's got a bunch. Now again, you don't have to, and if we don't throw them in, then cards will be thrown in from the deck equal to the number of players. So I've already thrown one in. If Jen doesn't throw one in, then one's going to get thrown in during the add additional cards if necessary step. But looking at these, oh, yeah, space rocket development, I think this makes perfect sense for Jen. She would definitely like to get this card into play if she can, because it's definitely going to help the growth of her agency down here. So, okay, everybody had the opportunity to add some cards from their hand, which we did, and now more cards would be added to get up to, well, in a 2-player game, 2 cards. And so that doesn't have to happen, but after that's done, one more card will get added no matter what that just comes from the deck. And then we take all these cards, and remember, there could be more. We shuffle them up, and one of these cards will be revealed. Now, ultimately, all 3 of these cards will make it into the universe, which means we can draft them. But right now, we only know about this research grant, which is a piece of propaganda. And that's interesting. Remember, I put in... What did I put in? I put in small step for man. For all I know, that is a card that Jen put in because it's really important to her. Although, of course, it's not. Jen put this card in. This was the card that came up randomly. So, neither of us knew this was coming, and neither of us knows how much each other wants to get that card. So, we reveal one, and now everybody in secret picks what we're going to do to run our agency for this round. We all have a control deck, which starts out with 12 cards in it. 3 in technology, 3 for breakthroughs, 3 for space programs, and 3 for propaganda. Now, every round, we're going to play one of these until the end of the game. In the first round, I did some propaganda, which allowed me to recruit Alexei Leonov, the cosmonaut, and then in the second round, I chose to do a breakthrough. I played one of my 3 breakthrough cards, which allowed us to leave Earth. Jen, meanwhile, in the first round, she did her level 2 space program, thereby doing manned spaceflight, and then she did her level 1 technology to build a space center. So we're about to choose our third actions, and I know what mine is going to be. I'm going to do a breakthrough, which is a red action. This will be my second breakthrough in the game. But the question I got to ask myself, am I going to do my level 3 or my level 6 breakthrough? Because this is going to determine player order. If I suspect Jen wants to do a breakthrough as well, notice right now there's only one breakthrough out there, but remember, I know another breakthrough is coming because I've added it to the universe, and I want to get this breakthrough. But if I think Jen is going to go for a breakthrough, I might want to play my high card with a value of 6, because that means I can go first, because if Jen plays her high card, the tie will break in my favor because I'm currently the first player. But because I'm the first player, I think I'm going to play my mid card and save my high value card for later when I'm really desperate to get a breakthrough if one comes up. I'm going to play my mid one, especially because it has a special power. It will make my agency dedicated. So that could help out. This is the card I'm going to play because I'm planning on drafting a red breakthrough card. All right, so this will be the second breakthrough I've done, but this is secret right now. And while I'm thinking about that, Jen's looking at her own cards, trying to decide what she's going to do. And see, I know what Jen's going to do. Jen is not going to go for breakthroughs. She's going to do another space program action. So she could do her level 3 or her level 1. And again, she's got to decide, will she be able to get, because remember, Jen threw a space program, or no, she threw a technology card in. Oh, is Jen going to do technology? No. She's got to do a space program because Jen has already started working on Project Iceworm. Every time you play, over the course of the game, 5 projects are going to come out. You never know what order they're going to come out, which ones they are, but they only stick around for a few rounds. Jen has already started working on Project Iceworm, which is a real historical project, and to complete it, she needs to get 4 more cards into her lab. She's got 2, she needs 6 total. So Jen needs to get that done, because if not, this project she'll lose her chance to score points. So the best way to get stuff into your labs is by doing space programs. And what the heck, I think Jen will go for her big one, her number 1. Because there's a couple of programs. Even if Jen doesn't get to go first, she knows she'll be able to get one of these. So she's pretty happy with it. She's going to go for that. She'll save this for later. And now, after everybody has chosen whatever card they're going to do, then we all reveal, and we then put the rest of the cards that are unexplored into the explored universe. So I reveal that this round I am going for breakthroughs, and Jen reveals, she's going for space programs. There is no overlap. There is no issues of, will I be able to get the card I want? Because we're both going for different stuff. And then this breakthrough that I wanted and this technology that Jen put out here shows up as well. Okay, so now we start resolving these things one at a time. If anybody had chosen to do propaganda, that would happen. But that didn't happen. Neither Jen or I chose propaganda. Next up, did anybody choose technology? Nope. Again, I was breakthrough. So next up, space program. Jen says space program. She's the only one who did it. If we had both done it, whoever had the high value with the tiebreaker over here would get to go first, and we get first dibs on lunar rovers or manned spaceflight. But Jen is there all alone, so she gets first dibs. And not only will she activate this card, which says, hey, draft one of these other space program cards, she will get to activate her manned spaceflight and her space center, because as you can see, they all have purple, i.e. space program actions. So Jen, first of all, she can do all these actions. This one, this one, this one, and this one in any order she wants. She'll do this one first, which lets her draft. And she will get the lunar rover or the manned spacecraft. Let's see. So this one scores points equal to the amount of technology you've developed. And I know Jen is planning on doing technology next. So that might make sense. But this one just allows her to basically exert her influence on the various breakthroughs, which is something we deal with at the end of the round. Currently, I'm really mastering the breakthroughs. If Jen does this, then she might have a shot at making a breakthrough. So does she want to do breakthroughs, or does she want to become more technologically strong? These are both good. I think she will go for trying to fight for some breakthroughs. So Jen takes this, she adds this to her agency over here. This is the first action she's done. She's still going to do this one, and this one. The new card, unfortunately, does not give her actions, but, if she'd had a card that had a purple, she'd be able to activate that card as well. So now Jen's going to do her other stuff. Every single one of these actions is basically the same thing. They are... Oh, shoot. No, that's fine. This will work. Won't it? Yes, it will. They are all following this simple syntax of take cards from a location on the left, this is a number or type of cards you can take, and put them in a location on the right. These cards all say, draw cards from the deck or from your hand, a certain number of them, and put them in your hand or in your lab. Jen wants to fill up her lab because, remember, she doesn't have much time to get her lab filled up. So this says, take 2 cards from your hand or from the deck and put them in your hand or the lab. Jen will just draw a blind, take 2 from the deck, and put them both in her lab. Jen now has 4 cards in her lab. She's very close to finishing Iceworm. She has done both of these. she will do this one now. This one says, again, same thing. Take 2 from your hand or the deck and put them in the lab. Jen will keep the cards in her hand, so she has more flexibility. She'll put 2 more. So that's it. Jen now has 6 cards in her lab. She has finished Project Iceworm, which gives her 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. And by doing that, she has left the 1960s by making so much progress. Or she's entered the 60s. She's left the 50s behind because Jen has completed Project Iceworm. The first player to complete a project gets 5 points. Anybody else who follows afterwards gets 4. So there's a race on these, but currently, I don't have anything in my lab. So Jen has totally done that. And she still has one more. This says, again, transfer cards from the deck to your lab or your hand, or from your hand to the lab. And X is half the value of your active control card rounded up. Half of 1 is 0.5 rounded up as 1, so Jen gets to do 1 more. So she could take a card from her hand and put it here, or she could put, but yeah, I think she'll just put 1 more. So she's overkilled. She's got such a huge lab now. She's very happy about that because that's going to pay off for her big time at the end of round 4 and round 7, where you get points based, the more cards you have in your lab, the more points you get. So Jen's building up a really big lab for scoring points that way. Jen has activated all of her space program stuff. Okay, although this one, you'll notice, this one is on the left side of the card, which means she can do it every time she does a purple space action. This one is on the right, which means once it's done, it gets covered. It cannot be done again. And by covering this, she's also covered this. She cannot take 2 cards from the universe and put them in her lab if she does a discovery or a breakthrough. But anyway, so that's covered up. But Jen still has other uses for this card, which we'll get to in a minute. So anyway, that was it. Jen was the only one to do purple. She drafted. She activated her chain of actions. This is a big chain scoring engine building game. Now it's my turn. Hey, I did a breakthrough. And so first of all, I'm going to draft and I'm going to do this action as well off my Cosmonaut. And I could take Permanent Moon Base or Small Step for Man. And I think Small Step for Man makes more sense for me right now. This is going to be my second breakthrough. And it reminds me right up here that this means I have made more progress on the march towards breakthroughs. I have made a man in space breakthrough, which means I got to take another one of my meeples and put them over here on the breakthrough tracker. So that's going to pay off for me in a little bit, actually, very quickly. Right. So I now have made a breakthrough for man in space, and I've made a breakthrough for reaching the stars. And in addition to drafting that card, instead of this card, I also get to activate stuff. This was the thing of draft the card. This says, take 1 card from the universe and add it to my lab. So I'm going to start working on a lab now as well. And which one is it going to be? I think I could go on ahead and take this other breakthrough, thereby keeping breakthroughs away from Jen, so she just can't make any, so I can maintain dominance on breakthroughs. But you know what? Oh, there's a bit of propaganda. I'm going to take this propaganda and add it to my lab, because one of my command cards has a special power based on how many propaganda cards I have in my lab. So I've started building up a lab as well. It's not as big as Jen's, but it's not bad. Okay. And so, right, I have finished this, and now we have to go to the bureaucracy phase, which I'm just going to slide the board up so you can see everything about the bureaucracy. Here's the deck we've been drawing from so far. So, players resolve all their bureaucracy stuff, and that means some cards at the bottom have bureaucracy symbols. Jen has no bureaucracy for any of her cards, but I do. My Cosmonaut has some, and it says, if I am dedicated, I can uncover this card. Now, remember, I used this card in a previous turn and thereby got rid of this power. Now, because, remember, my breakthrough card said I'm dedicated, my bureaucracy allows me to uncover this card so I can use this power again in the future by comboing off of this card that I did. So that's going to be very handy because you can see I've already started making breakthroughs in reaching for the stars, in man in space, because I'm gray/white, and in the search for extraterrestrial life. So I've got majorities in all of these. I've also got one on the launch pad. Jen's got one on the launch pad too, which she hasn't even started yet. But I can get more control for the search for extraterrestrial life if I need to, now that Alexi is available again because of our dedication. Hooray! Okay, so we're done with our bureaucracy. Then every player adds the total level of their active stage towards their progress, i.e. we score victory points. So I am doing discoveries. So I look at every every card I've got that was tied to red discovery, which was 1, I score 1 point. Not that great, especially when you look at Jen. She did a purple space program action. Both of these scores, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jen is definitely pulling into the lead. But I'll make up for that because I've got all these breakthroughs over here that she does not. Okay, so we score points based on the cards we've built up. So not only do these cards give us actions that we can use as part of engine building, but they allow us to score points, potentially over and over again over the course of the game. Now we resolve the mission token. Here we are at the end of round 3, and I forgot, by the way, one other thing. When Jen got Project Gemini here, this was her second space program, so she has completed this project, the Sputnik project here, which scored her 5 more points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jen has completed 2 projects, 10 points there, by focusing on these and focusing on her lab. I'm about to complete 1, but hey, I'm doing more with breakthroughs, so don't worry about me. So anyway, we now have to resolve this. This says the oldest project goes away, and a new project gets added. So, if anybody was still working on Project Iceworm now and they hadn't completed it, well, time's up. You can't do it. Jen finished hers, I did not, and a new project is going to get introduced. FOBS, the Fractional Orbital Bombardment System. The history that is on display in this game is amazing. But anyway, so this one is we need to get propaganda into our agencies. Right. And I've got a little bit of time to try and work on Sputnik, but that means I would have to get 2 space programs, and I've got none so far. But anyway, so that was that. This is gone. And now we are going to go on to round 4 where the turn order changes. Everybody gets some income, and once again we start putting stuff in the unexplored universe, which will eventually go into the known universe, and we have to pick what action are we going to do. Oh, I forgot one more thing. Jen finished 2 missions. Every time you finish a mission, one of the cards, one of your remaining control cards, has to be jettisoned. You lose it forever, which will really limit your options later in the game. So Jen has to decide. Jen has to get rid of 2 of her cards. Which one will she get rid of? Let's see. She definitely won't get rid of her. She's going to want to run her space program again to get more points off of that. And I think maybe, does she get rid of some propaganda? Maybe she won't chase after this propaganda thing. Yeah, I think she's going to get rid of her level 4 propaganda. So Jen is not going to be propaganda. I mean, hey, we haven't seen very many propaganda cards. This game, there might not be a lot of propaganda available. So Jen will have dumped that card for completing her first mission. And her second mission, what the heck, she'll have dumped this other propaganda. Jen is deciding propaganda is not for me. And when I complete mine, the project number 3 over here, I'm going to have to dump one of my remaining cards as well, which is a very important choice to make. It can really determine the overall direction. And now we continue again. Each of us can seed the unexplored universe. We can pick in secret what action we're going to do so that we can draft and trigger more chain reactions and score more points in our space race. And that is the rundown, folks. This game is awesome, and that's no surprise because this is a sequel to Space Race, the card game that I did a run through for a few years ago. Absolutely love the card game, and so if you're wondering what should I get, the card game or this, here's the deal. This is the better game. I think no two ways about it. There have been so many very cool, smart upgrades to the overall flow of the game. Most notably, the fact that we score throughout, which makes the breakthrough area control a much bigger deal. And going for all these projects and having to jettison cards, you only score in the card game at the very, very end. And so that means throughout the game you have no idea what's going on, and you don't have as much of a sense of competition. Here, you're very directly involved every step of the way with what your opponent is doing, and that really makes for a much stronger game. Also, I love the way that the universe is managed now, where only a certain number of cards can be available, because in the card game, the universe can get pretty unwieldy, and the board purposely kind of keeps things more under control, which is really great. I gotta say, don't get me wrong, I love the card game. If there's one thing that it still exceeds at, it's size. The card game is a nice, tiny, portable game. But I would say it's also a tougher game to teach, tougher game to play, and it just overall doesn't play quite as smooth and streamlined. The board game is now a bit more elegant and a bit more dramatic from start to finish, and that is the rundown, folks. Thanks so much for watching. Have a very nice day. Talk to you later. So long. Bye-bye.